Hey everybody, it's Holly here today for Nook's Design, and today we're going to be creating with the adorable little Tiki Time stamp set and its coordinating dies. I'm also going to be using the MFT Blueprints 29 and the Doodlebug Fun in the Sun paper pad. I'm going to be using 3 pieces of the blueprints there. So I started out with a top folding A2 size white card base, and then I cut another piece from the center portion of the blueprints, and then I cut my pattern paper out with the large rectangle in the set. So I'm just going to adhere the paper to the front of the cardstock, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the frame or the multi-window frame down to the center of that pattern paper as well with just some straight adhesive. I'm not going to add any foam tape to that. And I'm using the frame as a way to kind of break up the pattern that's in the back, because I'm just going to put my images directly over it. This is a great way to get more use out of your blueprints. If you have a kind of a busy background and you use a kind of a shape, a solid shape, you can kind of break it up. So I'm going to take a piece of Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. For my card base there in the frame, I used Basil's Marshmallow cardstock, but I'm going to actually stamp on the Nina Solar White because it's actually smoother. So I'm putting the images into my MISTI, and then I'm using several ink pads from W+9 and Lawn Fawn. And I'm going to be using what's called the rock and roll technique, where you stamp with one ink, and then you add a second ink in a darker shade just around the edges at the outside of the images, so you'd kind of, before the MISTI, or if you don't have the MISTI, you would put your image on your block and you would stamp it into your lighter ink, and then you would rock and roll it kind of into the edges into your darker color ink pad. That's kind of what the rock and roll technique is, but I'm doing it with the MISTI by just adding the darker ink around the edges of my images. And then I'm stamping them directly onto the cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the little umbrella, using 2 shades of blue and then some brown ink for this stem. And then I'm going to keep using the rock and roll technique for the little green straws. And then I do stamp 2 of the leaves from the set, but I end up not using them at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and finish stamping my images. I finished stamping the straws and those leaves like I mentioned. And then at the end of stamping them, I'm going to go ahead and use the coordinating dies along with my Sizzix Big Shot to cut them out. And then once I have them all cut out, I'm going to go ahead and start assembling the card. It's pretty basic. I'm not doing really anything special, so I'm just going to let you guys listen to some music and follow along. And I'll talk to you at the end of the video. So that's pretty much my card for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish adding these little sprinkles here from Doodlebugs. I'm using the Limeade ones. You can't really see them very well because they are green in the background, but they do just add a nice little pop of the green. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you again next time. So have a great rest of the week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.